Hey everyone, welcome back with another video. This is my review of Bloody Cross Manga Chapter 14. So let's get started, shall we? Well, this chapter starts out with continuing basically the conversation that Tsukimiya and Hinata were having at the end of the last chapter, with Hinata explaining that he wants to use Tsukimiya as a sacrifice to help him force open the door to godhood. The conversation then ends with Tsukimiya basically flat out asking Hinata why he, a half-blood demon who has dispelled his curse, would want the power of God, and if it's just for the money, which she had not yet doesn't yet get an answer to yet, which is a pretty good question, I must admit. Or, you know, if it's just, I mean, I don't see what money would have to do with it. How would that get, I mean, I suppose he might have an unlimited amount of money, but really, that just gives him the power to control anyone he wanted to if he was really that ruthless. Or if he really had intentions of saving the world, that would give him the power to do so, obviously. But, you know, don't have an answer to that just yet, though. Once the conversation is over, Satsuki and Hinata leaving Masano to guard over Tsukimiya for the time being. When Tsukimiya questions where Nao is at right now, as in now, N-A-O, that still confuses the shit out of me. Masano explains that he's still trapped in that illusionary world, fighting an illusion of Masano himself, which can't die, and that Nao's probably died from exhaustion at this point. Masano then begins studying a close-up version of the curse on Tsukimiya's chest, in which Tsukimiya exclaims that he should get away because, you guessed it, he's breathing on her breast. A fucking course. Embarrassed, this catches Masano off guard, knocking him down, allowing Tsukimiya to stomp on his chest with ease despite being all tied up and whatnot. Tsukimiya threatens Masano after that, claiming that she'll kill him if he doesn't free her, so he does, out of fear naturally. And then after that, they begin a short battle. Eventually, Tsukimiya does manage to defeat Masano, at least for the time being, and she debates whether she should escape or head for the Book of Prophecy, fearing that if she heads for the Book of Death, that she'll run into them. Them probably meaning both Hinata and or Satsuki. Really. Eventually, she will run into Hinata, and a short battle will commence between the two of them. Once Tsukimiya supposedly wins the battle, something surprising happens. It actually doesn't take too long for Hinata to be convinced, probably out of fear, to show Tsukimiya the exit. Okay, what's this guy's game exactly? Seriously, what's this fucker's game? I mean, first he's an ally, then an enemy, then an ally, then an enemy, and now he's an ally again. I seriously don't get this fucking character at all, really. Before both of them leaves, Hinata investigates Tsukimiya's new mark, explaining that it's a bit of a different mark with a different formula and anything, and it's kind of strange, to which he then proceeds to continue investigating it by licking it. Can't escape this shit, can I? Okay, then. However, after that, he backs away because it burned his tongue for some reason. For some odd reason. However, this happens to have somehow caused Tsukimiya's new brand to disappear, at least for now. After that, Tsukimiya thanks him for showing her the exit and leaves herself. However, shortly after that, she passes out for some reason and wakes up in some sort of a circle drawn on the ground by being hovered over by a traitorous Hinata. Well, people, it's official. We now have one of the stupidest anime/manga characters ever. Her stupidity is rivaled only, well, a few people, but most notably by Naruto Uzumaki's. But even Naruto gains some sort of intelligence throughout the course of the series, as memorable as it is. Jesus fucking shit! I really hope she gets more intelligent throughout the course of the series. I just really do. God damn it. Hinata then proceeds to pull out his gun and shoot Tsukimiya right in square in the chest so that some of her blood will spill out into the circle, and then him, Satsuki, and Masano begins the begins the ritual immediately, because I guess the other two were there for some reason, because the manga said so, I don't know. At first, the sacrifice ritual seems to be working properly. It takes a while, but eventually it does seem to be working properly. That is until it just starts to backfire on them and the circle disappears, which would mean that if it completely fucks up on them, then they'll have to start the entire process over from scratch. The sudden failure also seems to have a little bit something to do, I guess, with the reaction that Tsukimiya had with it and the brand on her chest, even though it's supposed to be gone, I thought. But that's never really explained too good right now exactly, though. Still on the ground, Tsukimiya sees the Book of Da'at and tries to reach for it, but Masano gets to it before she is able to. After that, Masano and Satsuki leaves, Masano telling Hinata to do what he would like with the sacrifice. Now, there's something else in this next scene I kind of have to go on a bit of a short tangent about here. Now, as they leave, Tsukimiya calls out to Hinata, claiming that she's never going to trust him again. Now, you know, that would actually be kind of a, how should I say, intelligent decision to make. For obvious fucking reasons. But I highly doubt it. And the reason is because she's shown her fucking stupidity so far in the series. By trusting him up to this point that, really, who the fuck does she think she's fooling now? I bet you anything that next chapter, or maybe in a few more chapters, she's going to end up trusting his ass again and then getting betrayed and almost killed again and again and again and again and again. But characters can make complete 180s, I'll admit so. I'll give her a slight benefit of the doubt for now, okay? But I'm not holding my breath any. Anyways, after both of them leaves, Tsukimiya is then met by Nao, who somehow escaped the illusionary space, Tsuduki and Hanabira, who freed Tsukimiya from her restraints, and all four of them, from her restraints, and all four of them escape together, which basically ends the chapter. So, my overall thoughts on this chapter as a whole. Alright, that was the summary. Now, my overall thoughts on the chapter as a whole. Let's begin. Well, I thought this chapter, it was okay. It wasn't my favorite chapter of the series so far, but it was okay. I'm getting really pissed off because of Tsukimiya's fucking retardedism, as I like to call it, which she demonstrated wholeheartedly in this chapter, and it's getting fucking irritating too. Okay? I mean, how stupid can one character be? Tell me, please, how? But it was a pretty good chapter. A lot, there was like 2 or 3 pretty good fight scenes and whatnot. And dear God, and the thing is, though, you can, except for Tsukimiya's stupidity, you can never really tell what's going to happen next. You like, it's chapter 14, and we still know barely anything about the main enemies, Arcanda. Now, say this was Naruto and it's the Akatsuki. Yeah, of course we're not going to know barely anything about them yet. But that's just because, A, only Itachi and Kisame were revealed in part 1. Zetsu was only seen briefly, and at the end of the part 1 part of the manga. And the second thing is, they were really short chapters. These chapters, like one of these chapters so far, I forget which one, reached 70 pages. These chapters can get pretty long, because I think this is either semi-weekly or monthly. I'm not sure. It's one of the two, though. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review. As much as I enjoyed making, I can't wait to get to chapter 15. And, yeah, so see you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.